Ollie, and get you ready for next year. I'm going to blow your mind with some numbers in just a moment. But it is good to see everybody here with us. And everybody, Joan, how you doing? Welcome back. Good to have you back. Joan, you're sitting next to Jerry, and that's probably not a very good seat, but that's okay. I would move down 3 seats and sit next to Lynette. See Mike Cahill in the room. Welcome, Mike. It's good to have you, buddy. Okay, we're going to get started here, and I just want to thank everybody. Where are you from, Joan? You said howdy. where are you from? Sebring, Florida. Let me tell you, my favorite place in the world is Jupiter, Florida. Uh, Going there in the spring. Going to take about, I don't know, 2 or 3 months vacation in the spring and go down to Jupiter and hang out. I love it, love it, love it. Some of my favorite eating places are in Jupiter. Love seafood, especially fresh seafood as they bring it off the boat and throw it on my plate. All right, guys, I just want to share something with you here. I was just flipping through as I was waiting on everybody to start piling in and coming on board for our last week of, our last training of the year. And I was shocked at these numbers because I've never paid attention to it before. When I go live on Facebook on my page, I get almost 100% of the people reached on the page. When I just post an image and text, I only get about a quarter. Yeah, about 20%, maybe a little bit less, about probably 18%. Okay. When I post just text, it's about the same number, just a little bit lower. But when I post a live, either video broadcast, now this is Facebook Live, either a Facebook Live video broadcast or a Facebook Live audio broadcast, I get almost 100% of my page reached. So what does that tell you? Start doing more Facebook Lives. And I know that's hard to do. If you have Zoom, I don't know if it does it on the free version or not, but on the paid version, then it's only like $40 a month. So it's well worth it. You can do Facebook Lives directly from Zoom. So really, really cool. So I'm going to start doing a lot more Facebook Lives because obviously that's a very targeted market. And that's someplace we want to go. But I want to welcome everybody to our last Wednesday night training of the year of 2018. We're going to be rolling into 2019. Matter of fact, our next you can share the screen. Yes, absolutely. You can share. You can share the screen on. Can I share the screen on the lives? You could just try to clarify what you're asking, Joan, and I can answer that question. You can share the screen on those lives. Oh, yes. You can screen share. Yes, you can. You can share your screens on the live. Yes, you can. Yeah, absolutely. I broke it down there in segments, but yes, yeah, you can do the exact same thing I'm doing right now on live. So you don't actually have to go on. You don't have to go on video. I very seldom go on video, because usually I'm in shorts and a t-shirt. So I don't very seldom go on a live. I love to do with my phone, just a voice broadcast. And it's kind of like a podcast. So it's really, really cool when you do that. But yeah, you can do a screen share on lives. It's really, really, really cool. So anyway, welcome to Wednesday Night Training and presented by the Appwizard Studio team. And I want to wish everybody a very, very happy holiday season this year. And I hope everybody had a great day. We're going to talk a little bit about numbers. I know y'all get tired of hearing me talk about numbers, but I want to show you some numbers tonight that will actually kind of boggle your brain if you didn't make any money this year. If you did make some money, you can double these numbers and make a whole lot more next year. But if you have not joined our Facebook group, Join our Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/AWS Mastermind. Hey, Jerry, how you doing? I told Joan she was sitting next to you in the training tonight, and she probably really needed to move. And so she jumped out of the training and came back in, and now she's down by Lynette. But just want to let you know that. But anyway, so go to facebook.com/groups/AWS Mastermind. A lot of great information goes on in there. And if you have not liked our Appwizard Studio channel, go to Appwizard Studio and search for Appwizard Studio on YouTube, and you will see this little icon right here. And just follow us, and you can also watch the trainings, which a lot of people do. A lot of people watch the trainings on YouTube instead of coming to this training. A real quick disclaimer, Appwizard Studio nor I cannot guarantee just because you are watching training, you will make any sales, create any traffic, or increase your income. Every person is different, has different work ethics and different desires. Some people actually get off their butt and go to work, and some people decide to sit on their butt and never work. So that's the different work ethics that I relate to. Some will, some won't, some move on. Real quick, I want to thank everybody. You know, you don't know what it means to us here at Appwizard Studio for you to come and take the hour or hour and a half out of your night on Wednesday nights to come and watch training with us. It means the world to us. And, you know, there's not too many companies that do this. Not too many companies do training every single week. You know, they'll give you bits and pieces or send you to a website, and it may update once every quarter or whatever. But we come to you live every single Wednesday night, and we appreciate you coming in and being a part of that training. So I want to thank you on behalf of the entire Appwizard Studio team, and thank you for being a part of our family. How many of you have heard me use this term over the last year? At least 5,000 times. You know, keep it simple. And I talked to two people today, and so I wanted to share what I shared with them. And as I've told you many times, usually the training shifts on a Wednesday if I talk to somebody. And I wanted to share what I shared with them when I talked to them today, because they call me just as I get a lot of calls this time of year and say, you know what, Kerry, I don't know what I did wrong this year. And of course, calling me December the 19th is really the wrong time to call. You know, if you're failing in February or March, you really should call it and say, hey, I'm really failing in February and March, and what do I do? Not wait till December the 19th and go broke all year. That's usually not the best time to consult with somebody over your business. Okay, so come February, if you're not doing well, don't wait till December the 19th and call and say, Kerry, I don't know what I did wrong this year, because we can't fix it then. So, but we can fix it for next year. And that's what I told them. I said, first off, you have to keep it simple. I truly believe this. I believe we make everything so complicated we can't go out and sell anything. Because if we don't make a sell on what we were going to sell today, we go home tonight and we change our product and go out and try to sell that tomorrow. And then if we don't sell that tomorrow, we'll come back in and we'll say, okay, well, I'm going to go sell this tomorrow. You have to stick with what you know. Keep it simple. Don't keep making changes, or you will not make any money. Okay? You will not make any money. I believe that this year, and we talked about this on last week's training. If you didn't see last week's training, I highly recommend that you go back and watch last week's training, because I showed you how to set up a e-commerce site using eSwid, ecwid.com. Go into eSwid and you could set up your entire business online. You need to be selling your products online. Okay. You need to be doing a little bit of marketing for your business. And the guys I talked to today, I said, how much marketing did you do? Well, none. Well, guess why you're broke? Because you're not investing in yourself. If you're not willing to invest in yourself, if you're not willing to put out marketing dollars on yourself, how can you really expect to go out and sell marketing to someone else and ask them for money? And you know what the first answer that I got back was? Well, I don't have any money to do that. Then you've got to find it somewhere, because you're in business. And if you don't have money to run your business, then guess what you're doing? You're just messing around, and you got a hobby and you're calling it a business. So tonight, over this next few days, this is the decision you have to make. In 2019, I'm going to run a business, or I'm going to have a hobby and I'm going to go work for someone else. And that's what I'm going to do the rest of my life is and be an employee. So you have to make one or two decisions. I want to be an entrepreneur and manage my business, or it's going to be a hobby and I'm going to work part-time. I don't know about you, but working part-time really don't pay a lot of bills. I don't want to work part-time. I'll work part-time if somebody wants to pay me $100,000, but that's as close as I'll get to part-time. I won't work part-time for somebody unless they're going to pay me extremely well to work part-time, because it's not worth my time to work part-time and take away from the business where I could go out and make $10,000 a month. And if you didn't make 10, if you're not making, if you started in January and you're not making $10,000 a month by December, then you did something wrong. If you started in January and you're not making $5,000 a month by December, you did something wrong. I mean, you can literally make $5,000 a month from January to December working part-time. And I'm going to show you that in a minute. And you're going to say, gosh, why can't I figure that out? And when I talked to these two guys today, and they were literally back to back, and they absolutely call me every year. And when I showed them the numbers, it was like, God, why don't I do that? Because you don't keep it simple. And it's not just them two. I'll have more calls before the end of the year. It's going to be the same sad sob story. I listened to you in December, but when January came, I went back to the same old tricks. And guess what? I'm still broke. So you have to make a decision. Do you run a business or are you an entrepreneur? Do you run a business or are you an entrepreneur? Risk. This is why most people don't run their business. They don't take risk. You have to be willing every day to wake up and say, okay, I'm willing to take X amount of risk. And there's low risk, $100 to $1,000. Now, to me, risk is if I take $1,000 bill, am I willing to throw it out the door and let the wind blow it away? And if it does, it's not going to affect me. Okay, that's risk. Now, the low, medium, and high risk has to do with the amount of money. Okay, the low, medium, and high risk has to do with the amount of money. How high is the risk? How low is the risk that I'm willing to take to make money? And so am I willing to walk out tomorrow and say, hey, I can lose $100 a day to see if this will work? Or I can lose $1,000 this month to launch a marketing campaign and adjust it until it's giving me a return. How many of you watch The Profit? Does anybody on here watch The Profit? If you don't, and you have Hulu, it's on Hulu. I'm not sure what channel The Profit comes on, maybe NBC or something like that. But you need to watch this week's episode. Okay? You need to watch this week's episode about Santa Claus, Indiana. And he's talking about exactly what I'm talking about. And he has a really cool graphic. And I was gonna cut the graphics out of it and show that tonight. I just ran out of time. But you have to be able to put money out, okay? You have to use customer acquisition. You have to have a customer acquisition cost. And that customer acquisition cost, you may not make anything on that customer until the third or fourth time you engage with that customer. And that customer could cost you 40, 50, 60 bucks, 10 bucks. I don't know what your customer acquisition cost is, but it's anywhere from about $10 up to probably 50 bucks. So you have to know that that's risk, okay? You're going to take a risk every day of going out and acquiring a customer. You hope that they stay around for 1, 2, 3 months paying you residual income, because for you, that's the footfall coming back in the door. Are you willing to take a medium risk, $1,001 up to $5,000? Are you willing to do that this year for your business? Are you willing to say, you know what, Carrie, I've never taken a risk on my business. Never. All I do is pay a monthly fee. I have 500 or 1,000 apps sitting here, whatever you've got. And I've only sold 10 this year. You're not in business. I don't mean to hurt your feelings, but you're not in business. If you sold 30 apps this year, you're not in business. Okay? You're not. You didn't go out and work. I mean, you can sell 30 apps in about 30 to 40 days if you're actually going out and working, unless you got another full-time job. And if you're selling 30 apps in 45 days and you have a full-time job, in 3 months, quit your full-time job and go out and you'll be making 6-7 figures a month a year in about 2 to 3 years. You'll never have to work again like that. But you have to be willing to take risk. What is your risk? What are you willing to invest in yourself to grow your business? And if you're not willing to do that, then you're not in business. You're not in business. So ask yourself that question. Am I going to take some risk this year and build my business, or am I not? Am I a risk taker, or am I risk averse? And I can't answer that question for you. Take a screenshot of this screen right here. Take a screenshot of this screen right here, right now, while I'm on it. And when you get off this call, I want you to walk into your bedroom. I want you to look in your mirror, and I want you to ask yourself this question. Am I a risk taker? Okay. Am I a risk taker? And what is my risk if I'm a risk taker? Because you have to know that number. And if you have to sit down and consult with your family or whoever you consult with, that's what you need to do. You need to sit down and say, okay, honey, my best friend, kids, whoever you're talking to, I know that in order to build my business next year, I've got to take some risk. And I've got to decide and figure out amongst all of us, because you're going to be taking it from what? The mouths of whoever you're feeding in order to build your business. And you're going to say, okay, I've got to take some risk. All right, I've got to take some risk. What's that risk going to be? And then you come up with that number. And it can either be monthly. You know, can you risk $1,000 a month to go out and build your business? Can you risk $10,000 a month for you to build your business? You've got to risk an amount of money to do that. And if you want to make money, you've got to invest money. You know, for every dollar you put in, you should be looking at $3 to $4 coming back. So if you put in $1,000, you should have a return of $3,000 or $4,000 on that investment. Now, if you're not getting that, okay, if you're only getting 2 to 1, you may be making a little bit of money, but that's not enough money to be in business. You can't sustain doing that. You gotta get up there to the 3 to 1 and 4 to 1. So if you put $5,000 in, okay, you should be getting $15,000 out. All right. Does everybody understand that? So when you take your risk, you've got to look at it, what you're putting in and what you're getting out. And when I say getting out, I'm talking about the gross amount. Okay. If you put 1 in, get 3 or 4 back. All right. But you got to figure that out. Or are you risk averse? Are you just totally inclined to never take risk in your life? If that is you, you're not an entrepreneur. And you will never, ever own a business and be successful. It's just a fact, you know? And some of you are probably saying, well, gosh, Carrie, that's kind of a cruel thing to say, don't you? No, because you have to take risk to what? Be an entrepreneur, and you have to take risk to own a business. You can't go in and open the doors every day and be risk averse. I can promise you that, because it takes money to open the doors, pay the employees, pay the light bill, put the stuff on the shelves. I walked in a business, what's today? Wednesday, last Thursday. Walked in a business last Thursday, and I opened the door and the shelves were empty. And this was Christmas time, and it was in a strip mall. And I walked in, and the owner was standing there, and I said, how you doing? He said, I'm doing great. How are you doing? I said, are you really? And those words just came out of my mouth. I said, are you really? He said, yeah. Why do you say that? I said, your shelves are empty. And you know what he came back and said? He said, yeah. He said, man, he said, I've had a tough year. I've had a tough year. You know, I couldn't afford to put product on the shelves this year. Well, why in the hell are you still, why are you still paying rent? You know, I mean, he's taking risk in a very bad way, hoping that somebody comes in and buys the last 6 things on his shelf and he makes money. He's not a risk taker. He should have went to the bank and took out a mortgage on everything he had if he wanted to keep his shop open and put product on the shelf, because every single business in that strip mall was crawling with people for Christmas. He sold electronics, by the way. Somebody just asked, what did he sell? He sold electronics like TVs, radios, stereos, that kind of stuff. And I said, dude, I said, you'll never make it through the end of Christmas. He said, yeah. He said, I'll probably shut down about February. And it didn't bother him at all. And I thought to myself, what in the world is this, you know? I mean, he either had more money than he had sense, and or he was using somebody else's money and he didn't care. You know? Don't let that be you. Your shelves are not empty. You've got an entire back-end platform full of apps that you've not sold yet. You've got the product and you've got the knowledge and you have the ability. Now you have to take the risk. And part of that risk is maybe saying, you know what? I'm going to walk away from my job and I'm going to get my butt out and I'm going to go out and I'm going to start selling apps. And I'm going to go out and I'm going to put $10,000 a month in my business from my sales through recurring income. And I'm never going through this up and down again. Or if you're risk averse, you have to make a decision. Do I want to continue to be a hobbyist? Or do I want to really become an entrepreneur? You have to make that decision. How many of you, and I want you to take screenshots if you can, pick up your camera and I want you to shoot pictures of this. Because when you get off of this training tonight, I want you to think about this. This is the end of the year. There is no more tomorrows, okay? Tomorrow is fixing to be the start of 2019. There is no more tomorrows, all right? How many of you achieved your financial goal this year? Anybody achieved it? You don't have to tell me. You don't have to put it in the thing. How many of you achieved your financial goal this year? 3 people just put no in the thing, you know? And my heart breaks for you that you did not. 2 things happened. It was either too high or you didn't do enough to make it happen. And I would just about bet you, okay, I would just about bet you that you, if you didn't do enough to make things happen, that you probably sat at home and cried in your beer or your soda or whatever you was drinking, okay? And you said, you know, why is this not working? Well, as I say in that at the beginning of just about every show, get off your butt and go to work. If you did, keep doing what you're doing. If you were successful this year, and you're right, buddy, and I know the medical problems you went through, and still almost achieved all of his goals. How many of you know Roger Pineda? How many of you? I'm sure everybody on here knows that name. He had an exceptional year this year. I was talking to him today. He said, dude, he said, man, this has been one of my best years ever. I mean, next to Moses, there's Roger. And next to Roger, there's Jerry. You know? I mean, this guy goes out and busts his hump every single day and makes sales. Every single day. He has sold over 1,000 apps since 2012 by himself. One man since 2012. You know, what is that, 6 years? Yeah, 6 years. Is that a couple hundred apps a year, something like that? You know? I mean, every day he goes out. He'll call me sometimes on Saturday. What you doing, Kerry? I'm sitting here working. What you up to, buddy? I'm out. I'm on the streets, man. I'm on the streets. I'm hitting it. You know, I'm hitting it. That's so one today. He doesn't give up. He goes out and works every day. If you didn't, why didn't you? I can tell you this, and I won't call names, but I can tell you just about everybody that will call me this year, I talked to them last year. And I talked to them the year before. And I probably talked to them the year before. And I always ask this question. Why didn't you meet your goals? Well, I probably just didn't work hard enough. I can't fix that. I can't fix I didn't work hard enough. I can't even give you an answer for that except go to work. Go out and do something. Go out and make something happen in your life. You can't sit there and watch the paint peel off the walls and make money. It just doesn't work that way. People aren't going to knock on your front door while you're sitting in your underwear, behind the computer, drawing figurines and stuff and playing whatever you play on your phone. People aren't going to knock on the door and come say, hey, dude, could you build me an app? It just doesn't happen that way, So if you didn't, why didn't you? And you need to ask yourself this question tonight when you get off of this call. Hey, I failed this year. And there's nothing wrong with failure. I failed many, many times. There's nothing wrong with failure as long as you pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and figure out what you did wrong and then fix it and move forward. Why did you fail this year? Why did you not achieve your goals? What kept you from getting where you wanted to go? And you have no one to blame but who? Yourself. But I'm fixing to show you, if you will do this one thing, I promise you, okay? If I promise you guys something and you see what I'm fixing to show you, would you please go out and do it if you didn't achieve your goals this year? Would you go do this one simple thing this next year? I promise you, okay? Yeah, Babe Ruth had the most home runs and the most strikeouts. Hey, you don't hit a ball unless you swing the bat. You don't hit a ball unless you swing the bat. But I'm fixing to show you, if you did not achieve your goals this year, I want you to evaluate everything you did, and everything you did that didn't work, I want you to get rid of it. And if you didn't make your goals this year, if you didn't achieve your financial goals this year, you probably need to scrap every single thing you were doing except what I'm fixing to show you. And what I'm fixing to show you, I show people this every single year. And I sat down today, and this is exactly what I showed these guys. And I said, if you will do this, I promise you, this is where you're going to go. First off, you got to answer your own questions. If you didn't, why didn't you? What was you selling? What was you out selling? How many products were you selling? I can tell you, most people that don't make money in this business are selling way too many products. They don't have a clue what they're selling because they're just grabbing at something because they didn't make a sale that the last person they talked to. So they're going to go in and change everything this person. And this person didn't want what you had, so you're going to go to the next person, you're going to try something else. Stop doing that. That's why you're broke. That's why you're broke. A car salesman sells a car. Okay? A car salesman sells a car. Then when you sit down with the finance manager, what does the finance manager sell you? The car salesman sells you a car, nothing else. 4 wheels, a metal body. Nope, he don't even sell you money. They've already sold you money because the car salesman wrapped the deal up. The finance guy is going to sell you on a maintenance plan that they make an absolute fortune off of. So he's going to sell you service so that you do what? You continue to come back. They've already got you financially. He don't have to sell you a finance plan. You already know if you're approved or not when you sit down with the guy. He's just going to print out, and he's going to sell you a warranty program, okay, that you don't need because your car is already covered forwards to backwards, but you're going to buy it anyway for $300 or $400 because you say, oh, well, that's only $10 a month on my payment. So you're going to buy it, and he's going to sell you a maintenance plan. You're going to get oil for the rest of your life in that car so that you will bring that car back. That's what the finance guy is going to say. He's not going to sell you anything else but a warranty and a maintenance plan. That's all he's got to do. And then once you get in the car and you drive it off the lot, you had one guy that sold you a car, and that's all he sold, and he made his commission. You had another guy that sold you the maintenance and the warranty program. That's all he sold. He didn't have to sell you on anything else because you're going to take whatever bank they finance it at. He don't have to sell you on a bank. He don't have to sell you on the interest. He don't have to sell you on anything because you've been approved and all you want's a car. You notice they don't ever ask you what interest rates you want. They will ask you what your payment you want your payment to be. Then they put you in the car. They sell you the car, a car, because the car salesman knows exactly which car to put you in to match the payment you want. So when you get into the finance manager, he don't have to sell you on anything because what? Because they did what? They matched you with the exact payment that you wanted. But what he is going to do is he knows he's got enough room to take another $20 or $30 out of you to sell you a maintenance program. So now you bought the car, you bought the maintenance program, and you're going to do what now? You're going to bring it to the service department. What is the service guy going to do to you? He's going to sell you one thing, service. He's not going to sell you nothing else. Hey, Mr. Miller, I just want to let you know that your tires are going a little bit bald and we can't inspect it today. So we need to put on 3 tires. Well, go ahead and put on 4 because I don't want mismatched tires. Yes, sir, I'll do that. He just sold me 4 tires and only needed 3. Why? Because the finance guy sold me a maintenance plan to come and get my oil changed. And the service guy did his exact job. Guys, it's no different than what you're doing now. I don't care if you're selling a car, a service plan, or service. Pick something that's going to make you money. That's why those guys are good at what they do. They're not trying to sell everything in the book. You get in a car, you got the money to pay for it, you're driving it out of there, period. You will not go, you don't go car shopping anymore. You just don't. You know, how much recurring revenue was attached to each product? Let me use the car example. Okay. What is recurring revenue in the car industry? Service. Service. And when did that start? Sitting down with the finance guy. Guess what else is recurring revenue for the car dealership? That warranty program he sold you, because they make so many dollars off of that warranty program. They're making nothing on that car. Nothing. Okay. Very, very small. I mean, they just barely pay for the roof over the dealership. They're not making a lot of money on that car. They're also making a portion of what? Of the finance charge. Banks come to car dealerships because they want the business. So the car dealership gets money from finance companies for allowing them to do business there. That's the way it works. And that's recurring in revenue every single month. And then you bring your car in and get your oil changed. And it's another recurring revenue set. So how much recurring revenue was attached to each product? If you're not out doing recurring revenue and you're selling one-offs, you're in the total wrong business. You're in the wrong business. If you're not out every single day getting recurring revenue, you're never going to make the money you want to make in this industry. It's never, ever going to happen. Does everybody get that? Does everybody understand that? You have to have recurring revenue. And how many referral sales did you make? How many referral sales did you make? For every customer, you should get at least what? 3 referrals. How do you get those referrals? Simply ask. Simply ask. If you don't do that, guess what? You're never going to get a referral. And I can tell you now that if you will get referrals, even if you're terrible at what you do, because you mentioned your customer's name, you're going to close 30 to 40% of them. If you're good at what you do, you're going to close about 50% of them. If you're really good at what you do, you're going to go out there and close about 70% of them. You have to get referrals. And what do those referrals do? They add business and revenue on top of what you're already doing, because you don't want to count those referrals as a part of your sales program. If you say this year, I'm going to go out and do 200 sales, referrals are on top of that, because referrals take less time to sell and you make time to make those sales. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? So if your goal was 200 and out of 200, you get 600 referrals and you go out and close 50% of those, you should sell 500 apps this year. Everybody follow me? Because your goal was what? 200. You're going to go out and just close the deal on the referral, get the money and go build the app. So you should do 500 bills. So how many referral sales did you make? If you didn't reach your goal, this is what I want you to do. First off, I want you to sell 2 products. I want you to wipe your slate clean because you're not making any money now. So you're going to, so don't say, well, Carrie, I don't want to do that. You know, I don't want to do that. Well, then stay broke. That's what I told the guys today. Well, I don't know if I can sell that. Well, guess what? You're not selling what you're selling now. If you can't sell this, you're not going to be able to sell anything. If you can't go out and sell this, then you're probably not going to sell anything, because this is the simplest thing you can possibly sell. Okay. Hang on just one second. Somebody's trying to get in training. I said, I've been doing training for 30 minutes. All right. So go out and sell a mobile business card. The easiest, fastest sell you can make. Don't add anything. Don't go in and try to upsell everything. Don't do anything but go out and sell a mobile business card. Do the setup from anywhere from $89 to $149 a month. Okay? That's the setup, and a $9.97 a month hosting fee. What is the $9.97 a month hosting fee? What do we call that? Recurring revenue. That's our recurring revenue. Then turn around and add SMS to that for $49 setup, and then $30 a month on a 500 package. It's going to cost you $15 a month. Okay? So you're going to do 138 to 198 with the SMS and the mobile business card. If you're dealing with a customer that doesn't have $138 to $198, then you do not need to be selling to them to begin with, because they're never, ever going to pay you anything. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? It's time to move on to customers that have money and quit being the charity app guy, you know, that everybody's talking about, because you're giving everything away and they're making money selling their products and you're going broke. They're not going to give you those tires for free. They're not going to give you those TVs for free. They're not going to give you that food for free. They're not going to do any of that stuff. So quit giving your services for free. So it's $138 to $198 a month. That includes the business setup and the SMS setup. Okay. So if they can't afford $200, you're talking to the wrong clientele to begin with. And then you're going to walk away with $39.97 monthly. All right. Now, I don't know what your net's going to be. That's your gross. I know that $15 of that's going to come out is going to be what? For texting. Okay. It's going to be for texting. So if you did 150 sales this next year, that's 0.41 sales per day. Does everybody get that? 0.41 sales per day. By the end of next year, you will have a gross recurring income of $5,995.50. $5,995.50 at 0.41 sales a day. Do 250, that's just 0.68 sales a day, and you'll do almost $10,000 a month. How many of you made $10,000? How many of you are making $10,000 a month right now in recurring revenue? Anybody? If you're not, you need to evaluate what you're doing, because if you can't go out and do 0.68 sales per day, that's what, 1.3, 1.4 every 2 days, 1.5 every 2 days. And then you start adding your referrals on top of that. Then you need to call me before December 19th and we need to talk. If you're not doing this, and you're trying to sell everything under the fence, if you don't start with the basics, if you don't keep it simple, if you don't go out and do what you have to do to make the money you have to make, then you're not going to survive in business, because it takes revenue, and it takes recurring revenue that comes in every single month to keep your business afloat. because you have gas money going out there. You know, you've got taxes you got to pay. So go out and sell 500 apps and you're making $20,000 a month. But between Uncle Sam and everybody else, they're going to take half of it, and you still got 10 grand left over. And by the end of your second year, you got what? 500 or 600 apps. By the end of your third year, you've got 1,000 apps that you're making $39.97 a month on. 1,000 apps is $39,000 a month. You don't have to go out and make big money, okay, on recurring revenue to make a lot of money. My mother, bless her heart, who I love dearly, I talk to her every single day, and twice when I have training days. And she always laughs at me because she always asks me this question: did you get your $20 today? Because I always tell her, you know, she's always asking me, she said, Kerry, how you doing today? I said, Mom, I said, I made another 20, make it $20 at a time. And that's what I tell her. I said, you know, Mom, you know what I'm going to tell you how to make money? You do it $20 at a time. Don't go out there thinking that you got to sell a $2,000 app. Yeah, you may, you know, I have guys come, man, I sold a $2,500 app today. And you know what they tell me? Tell me in 6 months later, well, I hadn't sold another app since that $2,500 app. Go out and sell $250, $149 apps and get $40 a month. That's where the money's at. Recurring revenue in 3 years, slow down a little bit. Just add 100 apps, you know. I mean, everybody wants to slow down, right? Take 2 months off and then come back refreshed and go back to work after a year or a year and a half. You know, I would be on an 18-month plan. I wouldn't think about taking a vacation. I wouldn't think about stopping. I wouldn't think about nothing. All right? Absolutely nothing. Okay? I wouldn't think about doing nothing, absolutely anything, until I got to $10,000 a month. And don't stop. Because if you let anything interfere or get in your way, I'm not saying take time away from your family. I'm not saying take time away from your kids. I'm not saying take time away from anybody. Figure out what your risk is. Make a decision if you're risk averse. Put your best foot forward. And if you did not make any money this year, listen to what I'm telling you. Okay? For 5 years, I sold nothing but this. Nothing but this right here. That's all I sold. Nothing but this. And a hosting fee. Nothing. Okay? So you can say, well, Kerry, how do you do it? I still do exactly this. I've added a couple of other products, you know, some hardware products with my services, but and what do I make on that? $20 a month. You know, on my hardware services, I make $20 a month. That's what I make. I just put a whole bunch of $20 out there. All right. And your SMS. So put these two things together. Don't do anything else. Don't get confused when you come to Wednesday night trainings and I show you 5 other things that you could add or you could be selling. Until you hit $10,000 a month doing this right here, do not do anything else. Don't. And I promise you, if you follow this plan, if you do what I'm sharing with you right now, if you struggled this year and you had an issues, if you struggled this year and you didn't reach your goals, if you struggled this year trying to sell everything under the sun and couldn't, then do this. Okay, do this. And I'm telling you, the money will be there. And after about 3 months, you're like, wait a minute. I made $1,000 this month residual income. Are you kidding me? Yeah, it works. It works. Any questions at all? Any questions at all? Yes, I still do the same thing today. The exact same thing today. I'll keep doing what I do until it quits working. and it hasn't quit working in 6 years. Okay? It hasn't quit working in 6 years. All right? Any more questions? Yeah. Poor Jerry, man. $325,000 in medical debt. Hit by an uninsured driver on the phone. And he still kept working this year. Still kept working this year. Didn't stop. Don't let anything stop you guys. Don't. You know. If you wake up one morning and you say, you know what, I just can't get out of here, send me a message. Send me a message. And I'll help you get out the door. You know, we want you to be successful. That's the most important thing we've always said here at Appwizard Studio. Your success is our success. And if you're not successful, we didn't do our job. But if you will follow this plan right here, you'll be extremely successful. All right, everybody. I cannot thank you enough for being with us this year. I look forward to an even better 2019. I know it's going to be absolutely amazing. Okay. And I want everybody that's on this training right now and everybody that's listening to this training, next year, I want you to come and say, Carrie, you know what? We did exactly what you said. And guess what? We're turning $10,000 a month this year. And we're going to take off in December. And I'm going to take my wife and my kids or my friends on a cruise. And I'm going to go blow all $10,000 of it. Wouldn't that be awesome? Are you going to call me after you say, you know what, Carrie? We're able to buy 10 families presents this year. 10 families presents that didn't have presents under the tree. That's even better, you know. But the only way you do that, get off your butt and work from January to November, and you can make that happen. God bless. Good night. Merry Christmas. I love each and every one of you more than anything that you know. I will see you all on January the 2nd. And have a safe holiday trip. Y'all have a great evening. Merry Christmas.